I feel kind of confused right now. So there's a tracer thing that the national board gridline puts into computers and TVs so that they can monitor like or just assess who's watching which programs and the usage, and I don't know. It's supposed to be for data information, and I don't know. I've just written a big page, one that I ended up spending 40 minutes spell checking because I pretty much I don't know. I write things and it seems right. It seems correct. It seems like I've made, I've said everything correctly, and then I post it, and then suddenly I realise that I've spelt a couple of words wrong. The whole sentence doesn't make any sense, and it's easy to change it because I know what I meant to say, but it's just so, yeah, it's very confusing and very strange. But I was talking about how I want there to be, a place where you can watch the songs, pay a couple of pennies or whatever, however much the artists want to charge, so that they can watch the song or have access to the song. And once you've got access to the song, you also have a comment page, a comment or a forum that links to that song where you can talk about that song and say how it relates to the singer. There should be a list of what God could be saying through it. Right now, there's a ton of money to be made in the Bible because people just analyze it and are just brainwashing people into believing that this is the word of God. What is God trying to say through these people? That they talk about the Bible as if it's not the truth, that it's just like part of the truth and God is talking through the truth, and these stories are supposed to mean something. But all the things that you're doing with the Bible, analyzing it, you can do exactly the same thing with all the songs if only you knew what the angel name is, and if you link the angel name to the song and say, well, you could make a ton of money from using God as a way of teaching people things, which is good and bad, and likewise there's positive and negative. Sometimes there's positive in their positive name, there's always positive in their positive name, but sometimes there's negative in their positive name, and likewise the opposite can be said about the negative name. Sometimes there's positive and negative in the negative names. But yeah, there should be one where it talks about the positive name and links all the things that could be saying through that the song could be saying through the positive name, and then in 3.5 years later you should do exactly the same thing, only hide all the positive names and do analysis only based on the negative names only. And then after the end of the 7-year tribulation, that's when there should be a button so you can see the positive and the negative name. I mean, if you want to leave the positive name somewhere so that people would be reminded of what the positive name is, but just take away the details of what the positive name are supposed to be linking to. That's kind of how I do it, because part of the punishment would be to be like, oh, you thought this was this, well no, actually it's this. Really, it should be considered both, but yeah, some of the singers have seemed to focus on the negative name rather than the positive name, hence the positive name might not make as much sense as when you understand what the negative name is. Suddenly it's like, oh, that makes sense. But yeah, I've been talking about I like the idea of analysing and processing, and then I just got this phone call about the installation, about when this National Grid Board, Barb, they're calling it. I'm pretty sure you just left out a Y. It should be Barbie. Barbie's the one that controls the National Grid, because that's me. But yeah, no, you've called it Barb, so you've just taken off the Y. But yeah, it's like a broadcasting thing that broadcasts all the different channels, and they just want to analyze it and test it. I mean, to be honest, I don't understand what they could be getting at. What can you really tell from the programs that I know you can. You can tell a lot from, if people watch a lot of cooking programs, well, they like cooking. If they watch a lot of EastEnders, then they like EastEnders. I mean, what else can you decide from this? I don't know. I'm trying to analyze why they would have such, there's big like pamphlets about this, studying people's habits, watching habits. I don't understand though the importance of this. Why would it matter if they're watching EastEnders or Coronation Street? Like, what can you really get from that? But a lot more can be learnt from doing that exact same thing, only with the singers and celebrities. You've got the long list of all the angels and the angel names and what they mean. If you love listening to trash, but trash that's presented as gold, I feel like there's a lot of things that you can learn from what type of singer, what type of music you like listen to, and not just listening to what type, but how many times you listen to it. If you listen to a song that's all about murder and killing and you listen to it for an hour in a row, well, you feel like that person's more likely to be dangerous. So you can learn a ton of things based on what songs that they would write. So I can understand, I don't know, but whatever this project is, they've got this, that it's all about assessing, testing, and I like the idea of assessing and testing, because that's how it should be. But I just feel like what you would learn from people who watch EastEnders is mild, because a lot of people who like watching EastEnders just watch it so that they can kind of tune out and not focus on it. What can they learn from my viewing habits? Well, that I don't watch TV that much, and that if I am going to watch something, it's Family Guy or the news, and technically you don't really understand what I'm watching and what I'm not watching, because a lot of the time I just start streaming online and stop focusing on the TV. So yeah, I'm not really sure. I'm confused about what this survey or testing broadcast part thing is, because I'm like, why is it that important? Like, I thought maybe there's a possibility that the people who are watching my videos and are doing everything in secret, I don't know who knows, I don't know how many singers know, but I was thinking maybe you've got the board to select my house and then come to my house to put this in, so that you can assess my viewing habits, and because I'm God, I'm Christ, you can learn a lot from my viewing habits, because you can tell what I'm inspiring and what I'm not, and what I'm watching on TV, has it inspired my day. Sometimes I often do turn on the TV to find that it's bringing up things that I've spoken about that day, or things that I've bought or talked to, or there's a lot of times that happens. But yeah, they also said when I on the phone last time that they don't actually look at YouTube and the specific videos that you click on. It's only the amount of time that you learn. So what they're actually trying to learn from it, how many hours I spend on YouTube, okay, but you could learn far more from learning what I'm actually watching. What if you knew the exact videos that I'm watching, or the exact videos that I'm making, I feel like you could learn a ton of stuff from that. But just learning that I spend 12 hours a day on YouTube, or probably don't, I don't even know how many times I spend, because I often watch YouTube and then I turn off and have a sleep for half an hour. I mean, I find that I do that, or sometimes I just go, I watch a song and then I start going into my own thoughts, and then I just start having like a conversation in my own thoughts, and I'm no longer on the internet because I'm in my own thoughts and stuff. So I guess if you're monitoring the streaming habits, you can see my pauses, but surely the most important thing is not the number of hours that I'm watching YouTube, but what I'm watching on YouTube, the details. I mean, this is the more important thing or aspect. So I have no idea like what this is. I mean, I feel like humans are just brainwashed computers, and they do things for reasons they don't understand, and maybe the reason why they've come to me on the belief that they're going to analyze my TV habits, when really you're not going to learn anything from my TV habits, but maybe they're just inspiring me to say things out of anger, being like, what the fuck, why would you only want, I'm God, I'm Christ, why would you only want to know how many hours I go on YouTube? The number of hours that I spend on YouTube is irrelevant compared to what I'm watching on YouTube and stuff. And I think when it comes to the songs and singers, there should be some intelligent group of people who are not just robots, but people that are actually thinking, what, we want to have give everyone a profile, make sure their profile is attached to a real phone number, so that way we can make sure that they're not just false or fake people, or people that have multiple accounts. If you're spending lots of money on wanting to watch the songs, you would want to make sure that all the songs are available to watch on this same account. Now, if you have only one account, it's going to be a serious account. Now, if there's also some sort of fake sacrifice of people doing horrible things to me, and you voting for horrible things to be done to me because you don't give a shit about me, if you're using the same account to do that, and that account is a genuine account, then they won't be able to hide. Basically, it will be harder for them to hide. It's easy to hide if you have multiple accounts, but if you're using the same account that you're using to buy the songs in the first place, and if the only way you can get access to it is if all the songs are available on the same account, then that kind of draws, or if that same account is attached to iTunes or Facebook, or I do have a problem with Facebook because I would want all my accounts to be attracted to my main email. But when I made Facebook, I was at uni and I happened to use just my old email, and then I created a new email, which is the one that I'm using now, but I also created a second profile for my teddy called Rex, and that account got taken down because they said teddy bears cannot have accounts. And well, that was my main email, and I've tried to add my main email onto my main Facebook page and it won't let me because it says that this email is blocked. So for the last 15 years I've not been allowed to use my main email for my Facebook account, which is a big problem because if I'm creating lots of YouTube accounts with my main email, then it's going to be hard to link it to Facebook if Facebook is not allowing me to use my main email, and therefore if I'm trying to make accounts using my main email and they say do you want to open up, and I've forgotten like the password or whatever, it's hard to open it up using Facebook if Facebook does not use the same email that there's a bit of a mess up there, and even on YouTube, I think even my main YouTube account, a similar kind of thing happened. I have 2 or 3 YouTube accounts, and the main one, when I was using it, at some point it forced me to create a new email, and I didn't want to create a new email, so I kept trying to switch off it, and then I got very frustrated, typed in a bunch of nonsense, because that was the only way to get onto the next page, and there we go, I just created a new email, one that's got like 5 Ds and a bunch of S's, and I can't tell you what it is because I don't know what it is. I made it out of anger because I didn't want to make it, and that is my main email. So I don't know how to fix that problem because I think my main email is attached to one of my other accounts, and I don't actually know which one, but I know if I try to log in using my main email on YouTube, it doesn't let me because it assumes that I'm logging into a different account and I don't know the password for whichever account that is. So then I have to just try and remember which I have remembered that it's the email that has a bunch of random letters all over it. But yes, trying to link my YouTube to my Facebook is hard because they're both not on my main email account. And my main email account is attached to different accounts, one that doesn't exist on Facebook and one that does exist on YouTube, but I don't know the password of it, so it's a muddle. But yeah, what am I saying? I'm saying they've confused me even more because I thought that maybe they were going to come and monitor my viewing habits. But the soonest installation date is actually October 9th. And I'm like, but I was convinced that if my rapture is going to happen, it's going to happen on October 10th, not on October 9th. So there'd be no point of installing it the day before I'm hopefully going to go on holiday for 3 months. And so this is making me question either this group of people who are studying TV habits, even though it doesn't really make any sense because I don't think you can really learn anything from TV habits. You can learn a lot from which songs and music people choose to learn or listen to or listen to for how long. You can learn a lot about that, and yet what I don't think you can learn. I mean, come on, if you're watching Coronation Street, what does that actually say about you? Other than you watch Coronation Street. But if you like watching a certain artist that's, I don't know, if you like watching Becky G or something, I feel like part of you like it because you like rape or something like that. Like there's something mysterious about her songs that are actually quite sick, and I feel like I feel it. But if people don't know what her name is, they might start watching it based on I'm wondering what is the positive name for her? Did I give her a positive name, or did I just call her Angel of Rape and that's it? I don't actually know if I've got her a positive name or not. If I have done something, missed something out, I can always change it. There's the final conclusion of what happens when it gets exposed to the public. So if it hasn't been exposed to the public yet, I guess there's always time to change things if I have misanalyze something, or if there is a better name that can be given for a singer or artist, but yeah, I've got a lot of artists to deal with, but I'm just it's interesting how there's I don't think you can learn that much from people's TV habits. So what if they watch 2 hours of TV or 10 hours of TV? So what if they watch lots of cooking channels? I mean, doesn't that just say they like cooking? I mean, why would you want to know if a person likes cooking or not? But with the singers, I feel like there's a lot of things you can learn from their viewing habits on what songs they listen to, because the songs are full of words that are, lies or misleading or attitudes, and that resonates with people and how they are. I didn't like listening to The Angel of the Crowd. I feel sick actually listening to that Little John. I mean, he looked good in the Democrats. He was very good there. And when I saw that online, I was thinking, who's this? I don't know who this is. And then when I got home, I realised that song that I posted of LMFOFAO, he actually had Little John on there, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. So I listened to that song, posted it. I think I did that at the gym, and then afterwards I found the Democrat Party where he was singing, and I didn't recognise him, but he did seem very good on that. But he wasn't a singer that I was aware of until I saw that. But when listening to his songs, I would understand why I wouldn't follow or listen to that group, because I feel like his turn down for what? Like it's got a very like, too much, too chaotic. And it's true that I don't like big crowds. I find them overwhelming, especially after what I've gone through. I think I could have coped with I was able to cope with big crowds a long time ago, but I don't think I'd be able to now, because it's hard to think that I'm time traveling, or that my spirit is filling so many people, and then to be around a massive crowd, it'll just be like, what? I'm time traveling when all these people are living their daily life. It would make me feel like they are just all robots, and things like this, being them sort of wanting to analyze it. I feel like it's kind of a roboting mind, because I want to analyze people's habits and their viewing habits. I want to do exactly what this group of people are doing, only I want to do it with the singing and the singers and the songs, and allow people to comment on the videos, not just insult the singer and say, oh, this is sexist, the singer's sexist, but rather actually have somewhere where you ask the questions. Do you think it's sexist? Why do you think it's sexist? Would you listen to this? Why would you not listen to this? Why would you not care about the words? I'd love to ask so many different questions about the different songs or about the different artists, and I would love there to be a sort of page where people like seeking knowledge. Some people love asking questions. They like talking about themselves, and part of talking about themselves is talking about their opinions. And if you can get them hooked on talking about their opinions, then you can get them hooked on wanting to listen to more and to speak more and to say more. And the more they say, the more you can learn from them. And you can also add ads so that you can make money. I know it's a business, and I know you have to make money, and I know there has to be some sort of purpose. But a lot of money have gone into the songs, and it almost feels like, how can these singers all be making money, because there's so many out there, and the music is all free. I feel like it's not free, because I see images of these people living in nice hotels or in nice big houses. I saw 50 Cent's being in a massive house, although I wasn't actually jealous of 50 Cent's house, because his whole house is covered with marble. And when I see marble, I just think of like a puddle on the floor and think, I'm going to slip over and I'm going to end up cracking my head or something like that. So I'm not actually jealous of houses that are full of marble, because I just see them as being very unsafe, especially if you're drunk. So I prefer. I like marble, but I definitely prefer carpet or rug. A rug that you can sort of non-slip rug, covered, and it's more homely, it's more friendly, that's how I feel. But it's interesting. But yeah, they said that if I'm going to get this assessment or this judging of streaming, they're going to make me wait 2 months. So it feels like, okay, well, is this even going to happen? Because I'm pretty sure in September time, I want my 40-day warning that the rapture is going to happen, where I don't know what the elites are planning or what they're going to do. I'm assuming they're going to get some rapture believer to be like, it's gonna happen on this day, and then they're going to give that person lots of money to do this sort of fake rapture belief, and okay, nothing's going to happen, but something is going to happen. It's going to happen to me, and then when it happens to me, I would suggest that well, first thing should be that YouTube should stop making downloads easy. I know there is a download button on all the videos. I want people to be drawn to the website, and I want people to actually pay for the songs, even if it's only 3p to £3, whatever, I don't care. But if there's a button where you can pay, and then you can get access to like questionnaires and talks about it, I feel like if music was only available in that kind of format, from the singers that have angel names, then I feel like people can answer questions, and people would actually, well, they'd be forced to this channel, because this would be the only place where they can get it, or maybe they can get it on iTunes too. But if iTunes also say that, if you want to comment, if you want to say anything, if you want to listen to what God could be saying, or what the religious aspect of these songs are, so it's turning the songs into a new religion, which is not something that I wanted to do. But because I know that people have zero interest in me, but they do have interest in man and in people, and in learning and in expressing their opinions, I feel like that's a good way of planning it. But yeah, I'm really hoping that them wanting to install this spy streamer scanner on October the 9th, I'm really hoping that's not an indication that nothing's going to happen on October the 10th. Right now, I don't want to believe that there's going to be a big long wait, so any excuse I can think of to make that not the truth, I'm going to believe. But yeah, I don't know. Or maybe that's just a warning as to when I am going to be, although if I'm going to be taken, or maybe they're going to come to me on October the 8th or something. I know Big Brother, or that war at least, started between Israel and Palestine. That started October 7th. So maybe that's the real rapture day. I don't know. I think it should be October 11th, because that's when Cardi B's birthday is, who is the angel of gunfire, and that is kind of what the real rapture is. But I don't know, maybe it will be, maybe I will be, there'll be a day where people come and actually talk to me and say, on this day we're going to take you somewhere better, and yeah, I don't know what to say, unless of course that I don't believe that seems unlikely, that they've come to my house and talked about this planning streaming thing just so they can arrange an appointment to come and get me for the rapture. I think that seems very highly unlikely. But then again, if I see people as just being humans and robots, maybe this whole setup has been done to point to something happening on that day, just not them coming to stream me, but rather than them not coming to stream me as in my house and what I'm watching, but rather come to stream me as in to put me somewhere else. But I don't know. I'm a sitting duck basically until people choose to help me or talk to me and tell me that they are hearing me. There's a huge number. There's 4 people who added me on Facebook. I think one of them unadded me. When I deleted 2,000 friends on my Facebook page. Well, it went up to 225. So I know, and up from 223. So that was about 3 or 4 people added me, but then it went back down to 224, and not only that, is the one person who was like, "Oh, you've taken me off. Why have you taken me off?" Well, he watches my videos, my YouTube videos, he says, but he started asking me out on a date or whatever, so and asking me for nudity pictures as well. So it feels like his belief that I'm God isn't actually that real, but his need to want to fantasize about me God whilst seeing pictures of me or whatever. I feel like that's, I just don't feel like he generally believes that I'm God, because if he did, he would have more respect for me than to say the things that he just messaged me. So yeah, because of that, I'm now thinking that all 200 and 24 people on my friend list probably are not watching my page. I don't know who is and who isn't. But if only 10 of them are following my posts, I think I'd be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if it's actually only 2 people on my friend list believe that. I really have no clue. It's me guessing how many people know and believe that I'm God is like me trying to guess how many jelly babies in a jar when I'm not allowed to see the jar. If you can't see a jar, how can you know how many jelly babies are in the jar? This jar could be giant, it could be tiny, and if I don't know the size of the jar, I can't guess, and that is how I'm in. That is the position that I'm in. I'm assuming lots of people know, but it feels hard to believe that lots of people know when no one seems to be helping me.